There we go. Say shit.
You all right?
Yep.
Okay. Try and have better posture this time.
Yeah,
I'll join you there.
It's difficult. Like halfway through, I find myself going to like.
Just gonna hold on to this.
Hello. Okay. What is up, guys, and welcome back to another Torque Talk. Today I have with us Mr. Jordan Edwards, the Noodle.
It's me, I guess.
Well, you are the noodliest of the trickers that I can recall.
No, there's some of the noodles out there.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's other noodles, but...
My leg is a genuine noodle now, though.
Yeah, how many kneecaps are you rocking right now?
3.
You got 3. Now, you did just get into the doctor the other day, so what did they say? What's the update on... What do we know?
All right, so originally I thought I had a broken kneecap, which is what 2 doctors told me after looking at my x-rays. However, I went to a place where Mandy Parker hooked us up with, which was I'm really grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor did one test on my knee, and he was like, right, that's your ACL. So then we took more x-rays, and he looked at my kneecap, and it revealed that my knee, I have a bipartile patella, which means my kneecap never actually fused completely when I was growing, so it's always been in 2 pieces. So I was misdiagnosed twice.
So they looked at it and they were like, yeah, there's definitely 2 in there, and no one thought like, well, maybe he's always had 2.
Yeah, no, so...
Interesting.
They told me I had a broken kneecap, and I actually asked the second doctor about my ACL, and he basically said, don't worry about that. And now I've come to discover that it's pretty snapped. So
it's your ACL is completely gone.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to get some surgery on that when you get back.
I'm gonna have to go home, get surgery, and see you all next year.
Gotcha. But you will be coming back.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm kind of ready for it. I feel like, in a bad sense, I feel like I needed this because I've always neglected injuries, and I'm just like, oh, whatever. And then it gets worse and worse, and I think this is just the, like, chill out.
Yeah.
Rest and do things properly, because my knee was already weak when I injured it. So it's probably my own fault, and it's a lesson more than anything. And I think I'm ready to...
Gotcha.
Everyone else that's done it's come back a lot stronger.
Yeah, and you know what? I've consistently heard that mindset around large injuries is that, like, no, this is a reset that I needed to take because of something else. Like I was neglecting something, or I was going too hard, or I was just headed down a more dangerous road that if I don't pump the brakes now, it's just going to end up even worse.
It's like I knew I was always neglecting my body, but then this is like you're not allowed to do that anymore. And I'm glad, well, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. Definitely.
Yeah, you're healed like extremely fast compared to what I would have expected. Like you already have, is that like full 90 on both legs?
Well, I'm past 90 now.
That's amazing.
And I can basically straighten it. So,
that's amazing.
I just need to keep it working and get my quad activated.
Yeah.
Because it was immobilized when it didn't need to be, because they thought about my kneecap and that was wrong. So it's been in a brace for so long, and now I need to get strength.
Get it moving around again. So how long were you in that brace?
I think about like 2.5 to 3 weeks. I think it was at Neo where I like took it off and started walking first. And then I was still like on and off crutches a bit, but once we were in Toronto, I was walking fine. I couldn't really do steps or anything, but now I can do steps. We've still hiked mountains and everything. I'm still going.
Yeah, Jordan's been along for all of the adventures. Now, we did adjust some of the adventures to be Jordan Edwards friendly in his current state, but some of them were actually some pretty difficult hikes.
Yeah, the worst one I did was before we came here. Where did we do the waterfalls?
At Niagara? Did you guys go?
Yeah, we did go there, but we did a little...
Fury.
Yeah, we did a waterfall trail in Connecticut, and I was on the crutches and in the brace then, and just hiking up this mountain.
Figured it out.
Just going.
I think I actually saw some pictures of you sitting with the crutches in the water.
Yeah, didn't stop me having a swim either.
That's awesome.
Just trying to carry on and enjoy it all.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all you can do. And that happened like right at the beginning of the tour, right?
Yeah. So I got like 2 days of training, and then I think it was on the third day.
Out of the whole 2-month tour, and you're going on the entire thing.
Yeah, I'm staying. Yeah.
That's awesome that you decided to stay.
Yeah.
Now, what made you want to stay versus, okay, I've just arrived, like I'll just pack up and go back home and like take care of my knee. Like, what was it that you were like, no, I'm gonna just figure this out?
So there's like 2 things. One is that I might never get this chance again to spend 2 months in America. So I'm like, well, if I can stay here, I kind of want to. Mm-hmm. And it's like the second reason, like if I went home, I'd be in a much worse mental place than I would if I'm here surrounded by trickers, still having a good time. So I mean, I've got 2 months off work, so I'd be at home doing nothing, probably get depressed, and it just made the whole thing a lot harder.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad I'm here traveling America with some of my new best friends.
Yay! Yeah, and that was definitely something that we were thinking about when we heard about the news initially, was like, if it's really bad, maybe he should go home. But at the same time, this could be the best place for him, just mentally, emotionally, over the course of like dealing with a heavy injury, because that's way more difficult when you're alone and you're not around your friends, and like, especially if you don't have like a close group of friends around you at your home. Like, I know I have way more friends when I go to gatherings and like when I'm out of state than like just when I'm chilling in my hometown.
I mean, like the majority of trickers that live near me live like 30-40 minutes away, so I don't really socialize with them often anyway.
Right, it's a bit of a drive.
I mean, I've got muggle friends, but I don't know, and families, like they would look after me, but it wouldn't be the same as like a tricker or someone that's like been through it. And that's the good thing about being here as well, because like there's Nick Vale here and other people. Like we've spent a month with Omid, and he's had the injury as well, and it's good to be around people. The injury, but it's just good to be around people that have also been through the same. Sam Caspio as well. Yeah, and everyone's been like
really, very positive, reassuring.
Yeah, asking if I'm all right all the time, making sure. Everyone's been really good.
Nice. Yeah. So how's your time been despite the injury?
Good. Yeah, loving every minute. Like, it's not stopped me enjoying anything at all. Like, I can still go to a session and just watch everyone train.
Right.
And be just as... Obviously, I want to trick.
Right.
But I'm still happy to watch my friends progress and just see what's going on. Yeah. Talk to people. It's,
And you've done some seminars as well, shared some knowledge.
Yeah, I tried, yeah. I've never really... I've never really done workshops or anything before, so it was quite... it was challenging at first, because I find it quite hard to speak to a group of people. Mm-hmm. I've always been quite withdrawn and shy, so I find it hard to explain things, and it's a lot of pressure. But every one that I've done's kind of got a bit easier, and the weights drop in. And yeah, I have enjoyed it actually. Been good.
Yeah, that's good. It's just getting over that hurdle of like, oh, this is really foreign. I've never done this before, and then once you realize that everyone cares about what you have to say, and they're like, no, tell us what you think.
Yeah. Because like I thought the first one went pretty terribly, but then afterwards, a handful of people came up to me and they're like, "Yeah, that was really good," and I learned a lot, and they thanked me for it. So I was just like, "Oh, nice." It's reassuring. It's good.
That's awesome. So back in where you live, which is specifically, I know it's in the UK, but specifically,
it's called Huddersfield.
Okay.
It's the biggest town in the UK.
Okay. And where is that in relation to London? Like, how far away?
Don't know, like 3 or 4 hours maybe.
Okay, so you don't even touch base with that community. No. You're all the way.
Yeah, I'll sometimes go down to the garrison and train with those. Like, if ever they hold an event or something, or a little mini gathering, I'll go down there. So that's something like 2 hours away. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I don't really go anywhere. I train in Leeds, which is like 30 minutes away from my house, and I train with Bozzy and a few of the other like local trickers.
Yeah, so pretty small community there.
Kinda. Like, there's a lot of people that do trick. I mean, some might not go to sessions as often as others, or like they might just go to different sessions. I mean, my main training partner's probably Bozzy, I'd say, and we've been training together for the longest. And such. And I do enjoy training with Bozzy, actually. We really bounce off each other well, and it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So how'd you get started training? Like, who was the original person that like inspired you to do flips?
So it was like videos that I saw on YouTube were the first like, oh, I'm interested in this. And I used to go out onto the field and just like try and do flips. Like as a kid, I'd just be like playing in the garden or whatever and try and do them, but I had no idea what I was doing. And I actually did Taekwondo for 10 years. So I started when I was 5. And like towards the end side of that, I started like really getting interested in flips. And my sister's a breakdancer and she's got a friend who used to go to the open sessions with her. And he found out that I could like do flips and stuff, and he showed me like a video of Anise and like all those guys, and I was like, that is what I want to do. So I started going to open sessions and stuff. I did like a year of XMA as well, where I learned like the basics and like flips and stuff, and like you get your X out and all that.
Right.
And then from there, I just kind of went to gym and just trained with people, do my own thing, grass sessions where I learned the most when I'm on my own.
So what year was that?
When I started? Officially started like tricking in 2012. I used to do like flips off of walls and stuff before that. Not really knowing what I was doing. Trying to do parkour, because that's the videos I watched on YouTube. Right. But not really doing parkour, just doing a backflip off something a bit higher. Yeah. Every time I tried. Right. And I was doing them off like swing sets and stuff, but then found out what tricking was and delved into it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people stumble into tricking in that way. Like they want to do something, they don't really know what they want to do. It's not straight up gymnastics. And so they start doing parkour, but parkour really isn't what they're craving. You know, they want something a little bit different, you know, and like, so they gravitate towards the flips within the free running of parkour, and then they sort of stumble over it and they're like, oh, tricking, that's what I've been looking for.
Yeah, it's just because they didn't know it existed. Yeah. And that's why we need to get it out there.
Yeah, and there's also a lot more cross-pollination, I feel, recently. Like, a lot more people who are free runners and, like, primarily do parkour and, like, go to the parkour jams and stuff. They're in that community, but they're starting to sort of bleed over and, like, come into the tricking sessions and train at the tricking sessions and then, you know, take those skills back to, you know, their parkour and their free running. Yeah. And it's amazing what some of the people are doing.
It's like the Oslo movement gathering. That was like a tricking gathering and a parkour gathering, which was great. And everyone meshed together, and it's really good. There is a lot more hybrids coming about, and people just doing like movement. Not even really anything in particular.
Yeah, they
like
dance,
and like comical movements as well,
everything.
Like Pasha, like doing all this drunk, like just falling over things in an artistic way. It's funny. It's good.
Yeah, it's definitely the way things are going. And there's a lot more like G-Tramp kids that are starting to bleed into these other communities as well, that, you know, they just started with trampoline only, and then they're like, wait a second, I met this guy at this thing who could do a standing full off one leg on the ground, and like that was cool. And then they learned like, oh wait, that's called a cork, and like, well, I want to do corks. And then like, oh well, what are these other things that they're doing? like
whoa, like a kid in a sweet shop.
Right, exactly.
Everything, they're just like, whoa.
Yeah, they're like, you mean I don't even need the trampoline? Like, that's not to be trusted.
Such as what? Nice guy.
Okay, yes.
Testing.
All right. Yeah. Perfect. Good.
I'll keep an eye on it this time.
Technical difficulties over. Couple more questions for you. Now I have to remember the questions because I was taken out of my good zone.
Right.
So now that you're, you know, you have to go and get surgery and get that taken care of, like, are there any like power moves or like higher level tricks that, you know, you wanted to go after, but maybe you might be a little bit more hesitant now with the weaker knee?
Nah, I don't. There's nothing like specific that I ever really train for tricks wise. I like to go to the session and just see what happens.
Just play around with whatever comes to mind.
Yeah. But like, I hope to be able to come back with not having to worry about my knee. I want to come back strong enough to make sure it's okay. And like, watching Omid nowadays, it's just like, you'd never know he had his injury, you know, he just goes with it, just does it. And I think that's because he did the recovery process properly. He's now strong enough to go hard again, and that's what he does. So I'm going to try and come back with no worries. I mean, if there was any kind of particular trick, if I had to pick one, it'd be something with lots of legs in.
Something that's dangerous for an injured knee.
Yeah, but
it's going to be strong enough
it's
then.
It's going to be strong enough to do it, so I'll be fine.
Well, good.
Optimism is key.
Yeah, let's have no more of this. Although I'm just seriously amazed at how much mobility you have already.
Yeah, me too.
Like when I hyperextended my knee, it was at least 2 months before I was like fully mobile and like bending it.
Really?
Yeah, it took forever.
Well, maybe I might be back in like 2 months then.
Well, let's pump the brakes.
Chill. Not get ahead of myself.
So, oh god, now that it cut out, I'm not sure if we talked about tricking up in the UK.
Should we just do it again?
Yeah, fuck them.
They don't need to hear that. UK is not good.
No, I think we talked about that before. Then there's the tour, which we also talked about. We were talking about the tramp kids and their insanity and the children.
Yeah.
The children.
Scary. Terrifying. I'm going to quit right now. There's no need for me to do this anymore because the kids are doing it all.
Right?
No, I'm kidding. I'll be doing it until the end of the day.
Right?
I don't know. I don't really care if anyone's better than me. I'm still enjoying it. Like, I actually want these kids to be miles better than me. They are already miles better than me, and I'm happy.
Yup.
You know, it just shows that tricking's definitely going somewhere.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I also love about tricking is like, just because there are those kids that are pushing the envelope and like doing ridiculous things at young ages, and also just like people like Alexander Anderson and Mike and, you know, just the amazing power moves that they're throwing now. Yeah. Like, not everyone has to train like that and like trick like that. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't.
Yeah, same. You know, like
do other stuff.
Yeah, I just do what's fun.
Yeah,
do what you enjoy.
You can do. You don't have to be doing power. There's millions of tricks out there.
Right? So many different options and like routes to create new combos in ways that still haven't been done somehow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll be tricking for hundreds of years before we run out. I don't think we'll run out of stuff.
Yeah, eventually we'll just break gravity and then the limits will be gone. People will be throwing like quintuple back, you know, and just
be the basics.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the warm up tricks.
Yeah. The get out of bed routine.
Where would people find you if they were looking to watch your recovery process over the next few months, and also just enjoy the rest of your travels while you're on tour?
Yeah, so mainly Instagram. So it's at JW Edwards, and then there's 3 S's at the end. So yeah, I'm active on Facebook, but not really tricking wise. I'd stick to Instagram if you want to follow my tricks. I've got a YouTube channel as well. If you just type Jordan Edwards Tricking, I'll be there. I don't know what I'm going to be doing recovery-wise. I don't know if I'm going to log my journey or not. I haven't really thought about that too much yet.
Yeah, but I'm sure people will be able to, you know, watch and see the posts where you're like, oh, just got out of surgery. Yeah, and then, you know, then there's that first trick clip that gets posted after so long. Yeah, everyone will be on the lookout for that for sure.
Yeah. I might just not post anything until I've made a full sampler.
Just do a full comeback.
Yeah, just make everyone wait.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up there. Yeah. Everyone can wait.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for watching, guys.
Peace.